You got to understand you got to go back and look what happened after the Civil War ends, and look at 1868 when Florida writes their state constitution, and they write into the state constitution felony disenfranchisement laws. Okay, we see this starting in Florida. So if you were convicted of a felony in 1868, you would lose your right to vote for life. They were targeting African Americans. African Americans were 48% of the population in the state of Florida in 1868 as a result of slavery. Florida is a former Confederate state. Okay, they took up arms, committed treason against the U.S. government based upon Article 3, Section 3 of the U.S. Constitution. And after slavery ended, they wanted to arrest African-American political power. They said they did this to prevent a Negro legislature. So they expanded the number of crimes that were classified as a felony, and they targeted crimes that they felt were that would target African-Americans, and this worked. So in 2018 in Florida, when you had activists like Desmond Meade and others who put on the ballot to restore voting rights to over 1 million former felons, it got something like 66% of the vote. It was overwhelmingly supported. Well, the Republican-controlled state legislature then comes back, and they amended, and they said you have to pay all of your fines and fees and things like this to get your voting rights back. Then Ron DeSantis, what he does, he creates this Gestapo voter fraud law enforcement a group of officers to then go arrest people who were sent their voter registrations in the card in the mail and told that they can vote, ex-offenders. This is to scare people and target and arrest the political power of African Americans in Florida. So this is a continuation of what we saw during Reconstruction. Okay, so when you have a better understanding of this type of history, your understanding of politics is directly related to your understanding of history. A people's history and culture teaches them how to deal with the problems of the past, in the present, and the future to meet the needs of the community. So these are things that I teach in my online history class. I haven't talked about it yet today, but visit my website, theafricanhistorynetwork.com, theafricanhistorynetwork.com. I teach 2 powerful 12-week online classes, one on Saturday, Ancient Kemet, one of the original names for Egypt, Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Maafa, Understanding the Transatlantic Slave Trade, what they didn't teach you in school. That class just started up last week. It's a 12-week online course, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Register there. It's a discounted price for that. You can also call me 313-462-0003, 313-462-0003, or email me at ahnshow, S-H-O-W, at theafricanhistorynetwork.com, ahnshow, S-H-O-W, at theafricanhistorynetwork.com, or you can email me through the website. Then on Sunday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., I teach Black resistance movements from the Haitian Revolution, U.S. Civil War, Civil Rights Movement, and Black Power Movement, 1800 to 1968, where we go through and look at this history chronologically and focus on this 168, 170-year period of history that brings us to where we are today, to understand what happened, what led to the Civil War taking place, 1861, 1865, understand the Reconstruction era, 1865, 1877, the Jim Crow era, the rewriting of laws, rewriting of state constitutions, the Great Migration, 1915, 1970, 6 million African Americans migrated from the South up north and out west, and then which totally changed this country. World War I, World War II, Civil Rights Movement, and Black Power Movement, to understand how we got to where we are today, to understand where we need to go from here. So visit our website, theafricanhistorynetwork.com. I do a PowerPoint presentation. We have book references, articles, video clips. Everything is very visual, and the content is PG-13, so you can use this with your youth as well. I've been studying history 31 years. I'm a historian. I put together the curriculum for both of these classes, and understand the transatlantic slave trade. I've been teaching that on and off since 2017. And also email us, because I'll respond to all emails. We'll get you registered today. AHNSHOW, S-H-O-W, at theafricanhistorynetwork.com. AHNSHOW, S-H-O-W, at theafricanhistorynetwork.com. And when you go to my website, we have video clips like previews of the class. You've never seen anything like this before. The amount of history that we deal with, there's about 80 to 100 articles that we deal with in the first class. in the first class I teach, there's 7 books that we reference. We show you that you don't have to buy any of these books. We show you the excerpts that we're talking about on the screen, and we deal with thousands of years of history and what leads up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. We go back 50,000 years ago. Deal with the African presence in the Americas, going back 50,000 years ago.
This will lead up to the trade, not.
Oh, absolutely. You have to understand that you can't start in 1441. Right. You got to deal with the 800-year occupation of Europe by the Africans known as the Moors that lead to Christopher Columbus setting sail August 3rd, 1492 on the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. You have to deal with December 6th, 1492 when he comes across the island of Hispaniola, or what the Taino call Quetzalcoatl, which means mother of the earth. He called it La Isla Española, the Spanish island. We know the western third of it is going to be the colony of Santo Domingo. The French take over the colony of Santo Domingo in 1697 from the Spanish and call it Saint Dominique. But those Africans, they are going to call it Haiti and they're going to have a slave revolt in 1791. And that leads to the Louisiana Purchase of 1803. This is why we start the class in 1800 and we start with the Haitian Revolution and the Louisiana Purchase of 1803, because those two events are related. France sells 828,000 square miles of land for less than 3 cents an acre for a total of $15 million to the U.S. because Napoleon Bonaparte was getting his behind kicked by those Africans in Haiti, and France was going almost bankrupt. So they sell this land to the U.S. so they could raise money to keep fighting the Haitians. This is how and this doubles the territory of the U.S. at the time, the Louisiana Purchase of 1803. So my
question is that why Haiti is being still punished?
They're being punished because they overthrew their oppressors. They didn't defeat just the French. They defeated the Spanish and the British as well, who were allies of the French. And one of the ways they did it is they reclaimed their African spirituality, which they call Vodou, which Europeans call voodoo.
Get out of here. Well, don't go anywhere. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. Stevie and I, along with Michael, will be back right here on 910 AM Super Radio Station.
Hotep, everyone. Join me Saturday, July 22nd, 2023, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time for a free class preview question and answer session of my 12-week online course, Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Maafa, Understanding the Transatlantic Slave Trade, what they didn't teach you in school. I'm historian Michael Imhotep. I'm the founder of the African History Network and host of the African History Network show. You may have seen me on one of my numerous appearances on Roland Martin Unfiltered or one of my other media appearances. This is a 12-week online course that I created. Register for the free class preview session right now at our website, theafricanhistorynetwork.com, theafricanhistorynetwork.com. In this course, we deal with thousands of years of history and what leads up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. Now, you can also join us on Saturday, July 22nd at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for class number 4 of this 12-week online course that I teach. You can register for the full 12-week online course. It's on sale, only $80. Register at our website, theafricanhistorynetwork.com, theafricanhistorynetwork.com. Or you can register only for class number 4 for only $10 at our website. We do the sessions live. All the sessions are archived and recorded. You can go back and watch it anytime, even after the course is over with. We'll look at ancient African civilizations and empires, like ancient Kemet, one of the original names for Egypt, Nubia, Axum, Carthage, and the Punic Wars, and Hannibal Barca, and the Battle of Cannae in 216 BC. We'll look at shocking archaeological discoveries that are causing the scientists and paleontologists to rethink everything. We'll look at shocking archaeological discoveries that are causing the scientists and archaeologists to rethink everything. We'll look at the lost city of Egypt, like Tanis Heracleion and dazzling Aten. We'll look at the Olmec civilization in Mexico and the African connection between the Mandinka and ancient Egyptians and the Olmecs. Did you know that the Washington Monument is an ancient African symbol of resurrection called a tekken? The Greeks called it an obelisk, and it comes from the mythology of Asar, Aset, and Heru, who the Greeks called Osiris, Isis, and Horus. And Heru was born of a virgin birth on December 25th. Evidence of this Holy Trinity dates back to ancient Nubia, about 3,300 BC. Why is Christmas celebrated on December 25th? Nowhere in the biblical text does it state that Jesus the Christ, or Yeshua, was born on December 25th. And what does December 25th have to do with astronomy? And what does December 25th have to do with astronomy? The Greeks refer to Heru as Horus. We deal with all this and much more in this 12-week online course. Why is the layout of Washington, D.C. a copy of the layout of ancient Egypt? We have to become history detectives and learn how to decode these symbols that are all around us of Africa and reclaim our history. Did you see the movies Black Panther and Black Panther Wakanda Forever, The Woman King, and also the documentary series African Queens, especially the installment dealing with Queen Cleopatra VII? We deal with all this in the African significance and the historical significance of these films in our class. We'll look at the 800-year occupation of Europe by the Africans known as the Moors, and the knowledge that they took into Europe coming from the Nile Valley region of Africa, which brings Europe out of the Dark Ages and into the light and into the next age, which is the Renaissance age, an age of enlightenment. The Moors are taking the teachings from the Nile Valley region of Africa into Europe. We'll look at the role that Christopher Columbus played in drastically expanding the transatlantic slave trade, and he helped to lay the foundation for slavery, racism, capitalism, and the exploitation of indigenous people on his 4 voyages, starting August 3rd, 1492, when he set sail on the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. This was later in the same year that the African Moors lost control of their last stronghold in Grenada, January 2nd, 1492. And Columbus is setting sail using nautical instruments based upon technology that the African Moors introduced. In this class, we'll look at 80 to 100 articles that I have specifically selected. We also will look at a PowerPoint presentation I put together that consists of over 200 slides. And there are 7 books that we use in the class as reference. You don't have to buy any of these books if you don't want to. We show you the text that I'm referencing on the screen. But we use books like Nile Valley Contributions to Civilization by Tony Browder, Christopher Columbus and the African Holocaust, Slavery and the Rise of European Capitalism by Dr. John Henrik Clark, The First Americans Were Africans, Documented Evidence by Dr. David Imhotep, Golden Age of the Moor, edited by Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, and Black Star, The African Presence in Early Europe by Runoko Rashidi. These are books that we use for reference to document what we're talking about. We'll also look at excerpts of interviews I've done with some of the scholars as well, some of the historians, Tony Browder, Runoko Rashidi, Professor James Small, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, author of the book The ISIS Papers, Professor Kabahayawatha Kamene, Dr. David Imhotep, and more. Visit our website right now to register for the free class preview session that I'm doing Saturday, July 22nd, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, theafricanhistorynetwork.com. You can also register for the full 12-week online course. So why is all of this history important? Because African history and culture gives us our VIPs, our values, our interests, and our principles. And this gives us a cultural paradigm that we see reality through. It influences our economic empowerment and our political empowerment. We have to have a synthesis of all 3 of these elements, not just one of them. If some of these topics that I have mentioned you are unaware of and want to learn more about them, you want to register for this free class preview that I'm doing on Saturday, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, July 22nd, 2023. Register at our website, theafricanhistorynetwork.com, theafricanhistorynetwork.com. If you want to only register for one class session, you can do that at our website for only $10. We do the sessions live. All the sessions are archived and recorded. You can go back and watch the classes anytime, so you don't lose access to that. So a year from now, 2 years from now, you can watch the entire course. This class is also PG-13, so you can use it with our children as well. And be sure to listen to my radio show Sundays 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the African History Network show on 9:10 a.m. Superstation WFDF here in Detroit. We also broadcast on my Facebook fan page, The African History Network, and my YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep. And you can listen to audio podcasts of the African History Network show. Wherever you get your podcast from, search for the African History Network show. Remember, right now, let's correct wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever. And visit our website, theafricanhistorynetwork.com. And I hope to see you in our next class. Peace.